Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I got Tony Crow. We got Uncle Fulio in the building. We got Ron from Still Knicks fans here. We're going to go ahead and break down and talk about this whole Kyrie Irving thing, as well as the New York Knicks Summer League, ladies and gentlemen. But before I do that, I want to remind you, go to thegameday.com. Get all of your up-to-date sports content and betting odds, ladies and gentlemen. There's a link in the description of the video. And, of course, today's the 20th, and I know I said we're going to cut off those NBK draft tickets on the 20th, but we're going to extend it, ladies and gentlemen. So you can go ahead and make your purchases, okay? All right. The link is also in the description of the video, and it'll be coming across the top of your YouTube chat as well. So let me get around to the panel. We got some more people that just joined us. Have this breakdown and discussion. Tony Crow, what's popping, man? How you feeling?
What's going on, Sim? Shout out to the chat. I knew Josh was coming, so look, I'm ready for this one. Ron, what's good? Salute. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black, it's time. Let's go.
Yeah. Uncle Fulio, what's popping, man?
Sam, Ron, Tony, salute to you guys. Salute to Big Bubba and Cornerstone in the background, always showing up late. But definitely glad to be having this discussion. I'm excited for this offseason. I'm excited for the draft this upcoming week. And let's get it going.
Yeah. Ron, what's up, man?
You know how it is always. Salute to the chat. What's up, everybody? Salute to my man Isaiah, a.k.a. Big Bubba, my man Cornerstone Kev. Where you been at, brother? What up, bro? Josh, Tony, and Sim, as always. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's do it. Big Bubba, you in trouble, dude. I'm just saying. But anyway, go ahead. What's up, man?
And where's the workout video coming, man?
He ain't doing one. See, look, he can't even get out here and talk to us. Look at that. Kev, Cornerstone Kev, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. What's up, Sam? What's up, Tony? What's up, Josh? What's up, Ron? What's up, Big Bubba? He can't even talk to everything. Salute to the chat. Ron, it's been a long, huge minute, and just going through some things job-wise and a little personal, but everything's good, man. I'm just glad to be, with y'all and everything.
Well,
and
the bottom line is, brother, hopefully you got your health. I'm happy to see you.
Yes.
So that's the blessings right there.
Absolutely,
brother.
Absolutely.
Real.
It's just that this topic, I had to run and get this and everything. So I apologize for being late, Josh, but I was mainly coming for you. So there you go.
Yeah, well,
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Well, I asked him to be in here at 5:20 so we can do this, that, and the third. But
I sent you a text and asked. I said, "Is this the right link?" Because I see something scheduled, but nothing wasn't there. So
I mean, clearly it was the right link because
clearly it wasn't because I'm on there.
Because you're here. But anyway, Big Bubba, I don't know. Are you ready? What's up?
No, he ain't ready.
He ain't ready. Anyway, let's
This is like a throwback show, Sim.
tell me about it. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it, man. I'm sure you've heard by now, ladies and gentlemen, according to Shams and his sources, Kyrie Irving and the Nets are at an impasse. I'm gonna blow this up for you. In conversations about his future in Brooklyn, clearing way for the 7-time All-Star to consider the open market. Lakers and the Knicks expected to emerge as potential suitors for Kyrie Irving. All right, and I think that article also mentions the Los Angeles Clippers as potential suitors for Kyrie Irving. So we're going to get right into it, start going at it. Tony, I'm going to start with you, man. Tell me what you think about it.
As intriguing as he is as a player, it's going to be a hard pass for me. But we could get into the details after the whole panel gets to, voice their initial opinion.
All right. Uncle Fulio. I already know what's going on with, go ahead, man. What's your thoughts?
I just like how Tony just kind of Mayweather the question and just say, "Oh, it's a hard pass." You didn't want to, elaborate on it. Listen.
Oh, I will.
Okay, you just want me to go first. I understand. So you can. I got you.
Oh, he said he wanted everybody to say yes or no, and then we get into it.
Yes.
All right. Yes.
Hard yes.
Right. I'm sure hard yes. Ron. Talk
Are you
to me.
kidding me? I mean, this is a no-brainer. The answer is no.
No. Cornerstone.
There was a movie back in the 80s called Crossroads with Ralph Macchio and I forget who the other guy was, but it dealt with him being a guitarist and possibly making a deal with the devil. This is what this is right here. I understand he's box office. I understand all of that. All right. But the eye test will tell you, anyone that has two eyes will tell you everything that you've seen, you want no part of this. So that's it.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to elaborate on that. You say the eye test will tell you. What does the eye test tell you, Kev?
That he wants to just play on his own terms. All right. I don't know how many games he's missed this year because of this this mandate that New York had for the coronavirus. But it was a way. It seemed like it was a loophole for this, for this Joker to not play, playing in the games for the Nets. Everybody else from the Nets and the Knicks, all of them said, you know what? I don't like it, but I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to play. And that's what they all did. He's the only one. He's the only one from the New York teams that said he wasn't going to play. I'm probably wrong in saying he's the only player from all New York teams, but between the Knicks and the Nets, he's the only one that said that he wasn't going to play. That's selfish, especially when you had guys coming left and right to want to go play for him and Kevin Durant to try and win a championship, and then he pulls this. If they had a healthy Kyrie, health, yeah, has something to do. But if he played, they would have went to the they would have went to the championship, and that's all I got to say about it.
Well, I'm gonna say this: as far as that's concerned, I'm not gonna hold against him his decision, about getting vaccinated or not. I can't hold that against him. I think that's a personal decision.
But see, here's the problem. It's different if he was Seth Curry and held out. This is Kyrie Irving. He's you talk about cornerstone. He was a cornerstone of this Nets organization. He was 1 and 2. Him and Kevin Durant were 1 and 2 of their success of them winning a title.
But what does that have to do with his personal decision? Check this out. I was watching.
It has a lot to do with his personal decision.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I was watching Atlanta last night. The show Atlanta, right? And Paperboy was in a Dutch country, wherever, right? Mm-hmm. He was getting ready to perform in front of a crowd. And in this country, they have this tradition around Christmas time where all of these people dress in blackface. Right, for I forgot the name of the guy, but apparently, the guy has a helper that goes around and spreads gifts, and that helper is in blackface. Now they say that it's because he went down the chimney and his face got black, but anyway, and this is true. This is true. It's not even just on the show. This is actually true. But anyway, Paperboy goes in. He's about to perform, and when he looks out into the crowd, every single person has blackface. So he says, I'm not going to perform. I'm not performing in front of this crowd because I stand against what they're doing. Should he have performed, Kev?
Should he have performed? That's totally different, Sam. You're talking about a racism type thing compared to a health thing. All you had to do is just take the shot, and he would have been.
But you're talking about his personal choice. Still, it's something that he stood against.
With his health,
it's something that he stood against, and he made the sacrifice. Okay, the sacrifice hurt his team, but it also sacrificed something for himself. I'm just saying, right, I'm not going to hold that against him. I have other reasons, but I'm not going to hold that against him.
So aside from that, how many playoff series has he won since he's been here? How many years has he been here? 3 years. And how many playoff series have they won? Case closed.
Okay.
How many playoff series have we won in the last 8?
Oh, stop, please.
Oh, you don't want to hear it? I'm sorry.
Please,
My bad.
please.
Sorry for bringing it up.
We won plenty of playoff series. We just haven't won the championship. That's all.
In the last 8 years?
We haven't won plenty of playoff series.
How many?
You know what I mean. But come on, that's totally different than what's going on.
Let me get around. I'm gonna come to Tony, then I'll come to Josh and hear Josh. Tony,
I simply feel like the reward is not worth the risk. I think it's more of a risk than it is a reward. Let's say everything goes great. Let's say he plays 72 games a year. My first question mark is the price is going to cost, right? It's not going to be cheap. He wants a max deal. He wants multiple years. So what's it going to cost to get him, money wise or salary wise, to make it even? And then what is this team? Is this team going to be a better team, knowing the assets that we're going to have to give up for him? I don't think so. And that's based off of his track record since he's left Cleveland. Hasn't done anything. Teams have arguably been better without him moving forward. It's not worth the risk. And then on the flip side, this is if everything goes right. I don't think he's worth the risk. Chances of everything going right are slim. He missed games not only for the mandate, he missed games because of personal reasons unbeknownst to anyone, including his teammates, his coach, the organization. We don't know where he is. I mean, it's very similar to what we dealt with Derrick Rose, his first stint with the Knicks. We don't know where he is. We don't know when he's coming back. We don't know why he's gone. And is he a guy that's gonna nurture our young guys and kind of put them in a position to be better, even if it's down the line? I don't even know if that is the case with Kyrie. It's a big pass for me, and I'll even go out on a limb. I would rather take the risk on 1 year with Russell Westbrook than I would with multiple years with Kyrie moving forward.
And Sim, real quick, your best ability is your availability.
Okay. Josh.
I vividly remember last offseason, after the Knicks got Kemba Walker, myself and Tony had a nice little crossover show. We talked about the controversial Knicks and bruises, and we made an argument. Well, at least we were talking about Kyrie Irving versus Kemba Walker. And Tony Crow, wittingly or unwittingly, or whatever, however you want to put it, tried to make the argument that Kemba Walker was just as valuable as a player as Kyrie Irving. Nonsense, complete nonsense. And some try to back him up too, but obviously he's not gonna say that now.
No.
You know what's funny though?
Listen. I'm not.
I would die on that hill, knowing what we went through with Kemba, and knowing what the Nets went through with Kyrie. But
the whole league went through that, Tony. The whole league went through COVID pandemic.
Listen, I'm not even gonna back off. We definitely had the argument about, them two versus one another and all of that. I'm not afraid of it. I said something, and obviously Kemba didn't prove me right. So
okay,
nothing I can do about that.
To continue on what I have to say in regards to Tony, you keep talking about cost. The Knicks have a ton of assets. A ton of young players and a ton of draft assets, as well as contracts that are definitely movable that they can be able to make this move happen. This is not something where the Knicks have to give up the entire farm to go out and get Kyrie Irving. I think there's some trades out there, some possibilities out there that the Nets would potentially accept in order to get off of Kyrie and to take on some of the players and assets that the Knicks have. It does not have to be. Hold on, let me finish.
Give me an example, though. Give me an example, and then tell me. And tell me if we're a better team.
We're a better team with Kyrie Irving on our team than without Fournier, than without Randall, and a lot of the guys, because Kyrie Irving is a closer. We don't have a closer on this team right now, period. And this notion that the Knicks, because of cap space or because it's going to cost too much, is going to somehow hamper us and hamper our young guys and hamper this team, I just absolutely disagree with. First, listen, Kyrie Irving is a closer. He's a point guard that is dynamic. On the basketball floor, there's no way you can question who the hell Kyrie Irving is. This man averaged 27 points on the team with no chemistry, like someone said, over the past 3 seasons in Brooklyn. 27 points per game. And when he did play, right, when he did play last season, he was scoring 50 points, 40 points. So there's no doubt in my mind that this guy, in a basketball sense, is going to be there. Second thing, the Nets are the ones who screwed up because they're the ones who said that he shouldn't be able to play in away games. They said that. And then, they weren't winning any games, so they came off of that and then allowed him to start playing away games until the mandate was lifted, right? So all this talk about Kyrie Irving not being there, him not wanting to be there, particularly on the Nets, I totally disagree with. And I just think that what happened last season was unprecedented. Can Kyrie Irving help us right now? Absolutely. He feels a need. No question about that. He's worth his contract because he is that special of a player. No doubt. And bringing him in and signing him to that contract will not hamper anything we have going on because the Knicks are already over the cap right now. Bringing him in doesn't put us over the luxury tax. If it doesn't work out 2 years, 3 years down the line, you trade him. You can still move that contract. So, again, I just don't agree with this notion that Kyrie Irving somehow is going to hamper us and prevent us from doing anything. Who the hell are we? Who the hell are the Knicks?
So let me jump in there and respond because to me, it's not about his contract. And it's not about his skill on the basketball court. I think we all know who Kyrie is and what he does on the basketball court. It's about the other stuff. And I'm not even talking about him getting vaccinated or not. That's his decision. I don't even care about that. You know what I'm saying? It's when you look at him from team to team, his personality or whatever it is has been a problem. It has been a problem.
That is false. Completely false.
Wait a minute. Look at the way that he left Cleveland. There were issues when he left Cleveland, right? The whole thing with him and LeBron. Before LeBron got there, they weren't a winning team. Okay? They weren't a winning team. Then when LeBron got there, yes, they won, but they wouldn't have won if LeBron didn't go.
They wouldn't have won if Kyrie wasn't there either. You can make that argument too.
I don't necessarily agree. I think LeBron would have brought in some other players if Kyrie wasn't there, and that's what he was going to do. I think there would have been other players that were brought in, but
they stopped going to the finals after Kyrie left.
Yes.
But look,
and he didn't win no more chips.
LeBron has left Cleveland and went and won another championship. Kyrie Irving left Cleveland, right? Went to Boston. Boston, what? I think they went to the Eastern Conference Finals the year before. Then what happened with Kyrie?
They lost in the first round.
Right? He leaves Boston and goes to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is a mess. And part of it is due to him because even before last year in the pandemic and all of that, before last season, the pandemic and all of that, he was missing games for whatever he wanted to miss games for. Oh, I'm protesting this game, but then end up on a stream somewhere in somebody's Zoom. I just think all of that stuff to me, it makes it a no. I just feel like he's protocol. I just feel like whatever it is with Kyrie brings problems. Brings trouble, brings problems.
The 1 year that Kyrie Irving was in Boston, they won 50 games. They lost in the first round to Milwaukee, who was a better team at that point. Jason Tatum was a rookie. He was still coming into his own, trying to find his way in the NBA. Still was a bucket, don't get me wrong, but Milwaukee had the better team. That's the year when Kyrie Irving was in Boston. When he was in Cleveland, he's a champion.
Josh, what they do the very next year when Kyrie was injured? What did Boston do without him?
Okay,
compared to with him.
So you're saying they didn't need him? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying they got better. They played better without him.
Okay, but maybe that was hold on, Kev. Damn, shit. Maybe that was Jason Tatum starting to come into his own as his own player to take over the team. Maybe it was that. How can you look at a team and their record and say, well, this person killed our team when they won 50 games the year prior?
And then told the Boston crowd that I would stay if you have me. And they were open arms to it.
Do you know why he left? Do you know why he left?
No.
Hey, Cornerstone, but here's the thing. You didn't know that his grandfather had passed away in that same season. He said he wanted to move closer back to New York, back to his family. That's why the Knicks were in contention to get him. No one wants to talk about that, right? Yeah, he said he wanted to stay in Boston, but there was a lot of things that happened during the course of the season that made him leave. All right, so again,
that's the first thing hearing. That's the first thing hearing about that because I never heard that.
And that could be true, but Boston's not that far of a drive. Let's be honest.
But even still, listen. Players all the time say they want to stay in one place and then end up leaving. I don't care about that either, to be honest with you. It's the other stuff. It's what he brings to the locker room. And, I mean, it's been tried and proven. Come on. I mean, it's been tried and proven.
There's not one player
man.
or one coach in the NBA that can substantiate your claims about him being a locker room.
I bet you they can. They may not do it in public, but I bet you they can substantiate it.
Okay, but now you have no proof. Now you can speculate. You have
no. I'm not. You're speculating as well. You said I bet you. You didn't say they haven't. You said I bet you not one player or coach will substantiate it. That's speculation.
Okay, so let's cancel all that out. So you can't even make that point then.
So right. So you said I was speculating. I'm saying you're speculated as well. Okay. So you cancel that all out. When you cancel that all out, the proof is in the pudding. That teams
the proof is in the pudding that he's a champion.
No.
That he's won.
The proof is in the pudding. Oh, the proof is in the pudding that he has brought teams down.
That's not true.
Ron, let me get your thoughts on it.
Educated guess.
Let me get your thoughts on it, Ron.
You know, I don't know where I can sway this argument for Josh to understand how I feel about it, because he won't. I have my own personal feelings about Kyrie Irving. I have similar feelings about Kevin Durant. Personally, I don't want Kyrie Irving on the Knicks, not because he's not a great basketball player. I think he's a fantastic basketball player. However, I feel like when Kyrie has chose to do his own thing and make his own course, it hasn't worked out. Does that mean it's all on Kyrie? No. But what I'm saying is, wherever he goes, ever since he left LeBron in that situation, it hasn't panned out as far as winning concerns. If you're looking to make a championship run and win a championship, it hasn't panned out, right? And he's a win now guy. The Knicks are not a win now team. So if you go get Kyrie Irving, you change the dynamic of your team. Tom Thibodeau is ready to win basketball games. You bring a Kyrie Irving here, Kyrie's just going to be like, oh, yeah, let's play with the kids. Yeah, well, we can win 40 games and not make the playoffs. I'm cool with that. Kyrie's not waiting for that. He wants to win too. He's going to get his money no matter what. So what is he looking for? I mean, of course, he has a championship, so at least he's got the ring. But the point is to continue to be in a position to get more championships, right? All right, that's my opinion on that. Outside of my opinion, last time I remember, Kyrie and Kevin Durant in any terminology with regards to the Knicks, it was Stephen A. said there's a 96.5% chance that Kevin Durant is coming to the New York Knicks and Kyrie Irving is going to be coming along with them. Then Rick Buford, or whatever the hell his last name is, I still can't remember it. He said it's 100% chance that they're going to the Knicks. Next thing you know, they wind up going to the Brooklyn Nets. And then, since the media never lets anything die, they asked Kevin Durant, hey, now that you're at Brooklyn, were you ever thinking about entertaining coming to the Knicks? Because that was the rumor. I never thought about coming to the Knicks. I actually was looking to play with Kyrie, and Kyrie said he was going to Brooklyn. So my whole point is all of this whole Knick, it's all been a big mirage, just trying to draw up interest, draw the price up, get the buzz going. Kyrie never wanted to come to the Knicks. I don't care if it's his hometown team and his father. Doesn't matter. He went where he wanted to go, and he brought Durant with him. Another reason why I don't like him, because he brought somebody else that we could have had with him. So I'm cool on Kyrie. He could stay wherever he is. That's what teams do. I mean, players do all the time. They go through their little course of their basketball life at their prime, and then when the Knicks are calling, they're not picking up the phone. But when stuff doesn't work out the way they want it to, at the end, that's when they want to reach out to the Knicks. And we're like, come, we'll take you, McDice. Come on over. Nah, I'm done with that.
No, terrible comparison, Ron. Oh, horrible.
Listen, you have your reasons. I have my reasons.
Ron, misery loves company.
Let's not act like he doesn't have a injury history. Like with the pandemic and COVID aside, he's missed a lot of games throughout his career already. So and he's only getting older. So Let's not act like that's not a factor. And then you said he won 50 games, but then got booted in the first round. So how good is that really?
You tell me that's better than what we are right now.
We didn't win 50 games and we lost in the first round, but are we still champion that season?
But hold on, Tony. But here's the thing. But this is the thing with Knicks fans. Anytime we go out or someone talks about coming to us, we automatically think championship. It doesn't have to be that right away. Who says that if we get Kyrie Irving, that the process stops? We don't bring anybody else. That's the problem. Everyone's so afraid of bringing in outside talent. Carmelo's a perfect example of that. We got Carmelo Anthony. Hold on. We got Carmelo Anthony. Everyone thought that the Knicks were going to be this. All the fans. The Knicks are going to go to the finals now. The team messed up after they got him, and the team didn't do anything after that. Now, Carmelo was a failure. Instead of Carmelo was the one that took us and made us relevant again, and if the team would have did right by him and built a proper team around him, we could have sustained that. So it's not Kyrie Irving's fault that the teams didn't succeed all the way with him in the playoffs. That's not his fault.
I'm not even talking about, being his fault that the teams didn't succeed. I'm talking about the locker room cancer stuff. I believe the guy is a locker room cancer. I really do. I believe that he is a locker room cancer, and as soon as if he comes to the Knicks, I believe it's going to be a whirlwind. Kyrie and the Knicks, not a good match in my opinion.
And he will have a field day.
And listen, I am not afraid to go out and get a star player. I'm just not trying to throw my hat in the ring for anybody.
Exactly.
Just because they're a star. I want to know, I want to understand the person that I'm getting here.
It's not about scared to bring somebody in. It's about bringing the right person in. Let me ask you this, Josh. Is he better for the culture of New York Knicks or worse? You think he's better?
Better, 100%, because we'll win more games with him.
We'll
win more games with him.
Are you confused?
We'll win more games.
So the culture is just about wins.
You said that. You the one that brought up winning. I didn't bring that up. You brought that up when we were just talking about it.
I just asked you about culture, and you answered with wins.
No, before that, you were talking about winning and what he did not do in Boston. And what he
was I talking about culture then, or was I talking about wins then? Because just now I asked you about culture, and your response was wins.
You brought up wins the first time when you talked about what he did not do in Brooklyn and what he did not do in Boston as far as the first round and them getting kicked out of the playoffs. And the Knicks have not been to the playoffs. I think winning matters. Bringing in someone like that can help you win games, period. The Knicks have not won.
Josh,
someone like that helps us win.
You're mistaken because you brought up wins when you said 50 wins. My response was 50 wins and lost in the first round. Now I'm asking you about culture, and your response is wins. Culture and wins are two different things.
I think they go hand in hand. The Knicks have a losing culture right now. There you go.
You can have a bad culture and still have a winning record. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can have a bad culture and still have a winning record. And you can have a good culture and have a losing record.
Example?
Because I'll give you an example of the bad one. The Portland Jailblazers. Winning team, winning records, horrible culture.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What Blazers era are you talking about?
Jailblazers.
Rasheed Wallace, back with them guys, the Jailblazers. Bad culture.
They went to the Western Conference Finals?
Bad culture.
Was that
but they had a bad culture with that team.
On each other in the locker room?
Was that a team that what?
That used to pull guns on each other in the locker room?
Yeah, bad culture.
Okay, so what do you want? Do you care about the culture? Or do you care about the win? Since they're so separately, do you care about the culture or do you care about a winning team?
Josh,
I definitely take the culture, because with the culture, eventually the winning's gonna come. Eventually, the winning's gonna come.
My whole thing, just quickly about the culture. I think the culture is important. We have a team that's the majority of them are young guys. I think culture is important when you're still trying to develop young talent.
Yeah.
Did Boston fail to develop Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown because they had Kyrie Irving? No.
I think they did.
Hold on.
They got him out of here. They got him out of there.
You know what? Actually, they might have, to the point where, remember around the same time that they had Kyrie Irving, the NBA question was, can Boston win with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Because they couldn't really put it together. And then
Ron is bringing up winning now. We were talking about culture. Now he's bringing up winning.
No. But I'm saying, well, they didn't have culture issues over there for the most part. Not that I know.
That's what we're talking about, right? But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about culture.
But we found out stuff as once. See, that's what Kyrie does. Kyrie might not be the biggest cancer. It's not abrupt when he's with the team, but we don't know what happens behind closed doors. But we know when Kyrie leaves, that's when stuff starts to come out. That's when he starts to say stuff or act a certain way. He's a diva, man. He's a diva. It is what it is.
And to your point, Ron, Boston wasn't calling him back either. They weren't missing him. They didn't miss a beat. In fact, they went further.
Right. Steph, what's your thoughts on this?
This is a tough one for me because I've always said I wouldn't touch Kyrie with a 10-foot pole because availability is so important, whether that's injuries, whether that's a guy just taking time off. Somebody said in the chat he hasn't played a full season in 7 years. I don't know how true that is. He's just somebody you can't count on, come playoff time. He may decide that, something is more important. That being said, I saw a trade. I don't know if this is true, for Noel, Burke, Fournier, and a first. And I said I might take a chance if that's all we're giving up. But if that's a 5-year,
if that's a 5-year,
because the money becomes an issue too. It's not just what you're giving up; it's the money part of it as well. Tony, to your point, if you put my feet to the flame, I would say no. Let's try to find another. Let's try to find another star, because you just don't know with Kyrie, and this has nothing to do with his talent and everything to do with his availability, and can you count on him, and will he show up? Literally, will he show up?
That dude is unpredictable.
He's unpredictable.
He is unpredictable.
That's my issue with Kyrie. Talent-wise, one of the best to ever do it, in my opinion. But you don't know from game to that. Why do you think Brooklyn is willing to move on? I think that's it, because they don't,
No, Brooklyn is willing to move on because he has a player option, and they realize that he wants to sign a longer-term deal. And that's the reason why it's coming out there. And the
question is, why don't they give it to him?
Right.
A max contract? No, a max contract is what we're talking about, or are you talking about the amount of years?
Whatever he wants. Why not give it to him?
Right.
Why not give it to him when you already have his bestie there? They had a plan in place. Obviously, there's a reason that they're bumping heads on negotiation. That's the point we're making. Whether it's this reason, that reason. The question is, because why aren't they doing it when they already have a sidekick or a duo in place?
And they're this close. And they're close.
Yeah. If they didn't have any problems, if they had no drama or anything like that, he would have been signed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Listen, I think this is a leverage move. I think that word was kind of put out there a little bit earlier about the leverage, Kyrie using leverage to his advantage because of the player option and because he wants a longer-term deal. So by putting that stuff out there, his agent putting that out there, I think that does give him a little bit of leverage in the situation. No doubt about that, right? But what I'm trying to say is I think the Nets realize everything that you guys are saying, taking into account everything you're saying about availability and stuff like that. And I think the whole thing with the vaccine and the pandemic played a huge part into why Kyrie Irving is a little bit sour in this situation. The Nets are the ones who decided that he shouldn't play on away games last year. It wasn't Kyrie. They decided that, and they hurt their season and then reneged on that by having him come back in the middle of the pandemic to play away games. And then the mandate finally got lifted. I think that played a huge part in the situation, too, that no one's talking about.
When you say the Nets, do you think that his teammates had nothing to do with that? And at the very least, do you think KD didn't have a word in that?
To do what? For what?
The decision to say, if you're not going to get vaccinated and you're not going to be able to play home games, then we don't think you should play road games either.
Why would KD want to lose more games?
You think that was just a front office decision? You don't think they asked KD, what do you think? You don't think they talked with the team and said, "Hey, do you think we could manage this with him on road games, but not at home games?"
Okay, so it was KD's decision to bring him back then too. Then.
So which way?
No, but I don't think it was KD's decision. I think this was a total Nets decision. I think it was a PR move because we were in the midst of the pandemic and they made that decision, which was obviously the wrong one because they reneged on it a couple months later. They reneged on that decision.
But a PR move for what? To say what?
Because we were in the
what was
middle
their message?
Because we were in the middle of a pandemic and they wanted to show that they wanted everyone to get vaccinated. The whole thing with the mayor, it was in the middle of an election. That was going on too. I think that played a huge part in it that no one's talking about.
But those are separate things. That you can't. The mayor had nothing to do with the Nets decision.
The mayor is the one who lifted the mandate, Tony. He's the one that put the mandate in place, that kept it going from de Blasio, and he's the one that lifted it. It had everything to do with it.
It has nothing to do with the Nets deciding for him not to play on road games.
Tony, listen to me. This is what I'm saying. There was a big media firestorm that was going on in regards to the vaccine and the pandemic. They next wanted to show solidarity with the people who, because of the unfortunate circumstance of everyone, passing away from the vaccine, contracting it. By them allowing Kyrie Irving to play in road games, for them, that's a bad PR move at the time. And that's what I'm saying.
So you don't think it had to do with basketball and camaraderie and the team?
But I disagree.
But even still,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, but even still, that's the Nets had the power to allow him to play on the road.
Yes.
They had the power to allow him to play on the road. They chose not to for whatever reason. It didn't really have anything to do with the New York City mandates. They could have said, yeah, you can play on the road. You can't play in New York City. They could have said that. But I mean, I don't even care about that. I really don't. I don't even care about that. He made his decision, and that's what he chose to do. I just look at still. I mean, before then, he was unpredictable with when and if he was going to play.
I never drafted him ever.
You know what still bothers me to this day? What he said when he first got there, where he's talking about we don't really need a coach. That still bothers me. That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
We don't need a coach.
Why?
Because, come on, but Josh, like, I understand he's a great talent. Of course, I mean, any team would be lucky to have a Kyrie Irving on their roster, but
including us.
It's his mentality, the way he I'm not bringing it up to say there's something wrong. It's just something different about him, and he carries himself that way. He acts like that with his teammates, with his coaching staff, with the front office. He's opinionated. The earth is flat. He's opinionated. Like, he has thoughts. And that type of person, they can acquiesce for a certain amount of time, but there's certain things that he might not like, and he voices it. We're in a situation, we don't even know what to expect this coming year from our coach. Half of us are on the fence about how he does things, and then you want to bring in a superstar type player who is opinionated into that mix. I'm not saying it can't work, but I am saying, there's such a thing as oil and water and how they mix. I don't know. I don't trust him.
I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue about how he thinks. I don't have an issue about his belief. I have an issue about his availability.
Me too.
And that's my main issue.
I totally agree with you on that.
Sam, I just want to say this. I just want to say this one last thing about Kyrie, and I wish you would have spoke about this a little bit more last season when everything was going on, because I have a take on this, and just bear with me for a second. Everyone was saying, including Stephen A. Smith, that Kyrie is letting his teammates down by not getting the vaccine. Kyrie Irving is basically leaving Kevin Durant out to dry, and that basically the players feel like he's making us unhealthy, or he is making us susceptible to the vaccine, meaning the players that he plays with. You think those players on that roster care about whether Kyrie was vaccinated or not? They don't care about that. They don't care whether, because they were hooping with Kyrie on away games. They were hooping with Kyrie in parks and in practice and stuff like that. So this whole notion that he let his teammates down is completely
Josh,
false.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, Seth, I know, not you. I'm talking about the notion that Kyrie let his teammates down, and that it's his fault that what happened was the reason why we didn't see that last season. That's the reason I'm talking about.
Right. This is what I will say. At the time when the Nets made that decision, they were thinking about what Tony was saying, how this is going to affect the team having somebody playing half a game. When it got to the point down the stretch where they were losing people anyway due to COVID or whatever, then that's what they said. It doesn't even make sense to hold the line at this point because people are out left and right due to COVID. Like we're down to 6 people, 7 people. There's no consistency anyway. Might as well let them back in.
Do you think that was the right decision to tell him that he shouldn't play away games for the Knicks? If you were running the Knicks, do you think that was the right decision?
As a coach, yes, because of the consistency and it's just really hard as a coach to. How do you do that? So when somebody is in, I guess they could have figured it out. When he's here, he starts, he plays all his minutes. When he's not here, the way they did it, down the stretch, I guess it would have been possible. But at that time, I understand the decision that they made because I understand what it's like to have a player. I used to have a player whose family was from DR, and every January, she would have to go to in the middle of the basketball season. Every January, he was our best player. It was so disruptive. And I had other coaches who were friends of mine who said, "Steph, I wouldn't even let her on the team. It's so disruptive." I would just tell her that she just can't play. But she was our best player. So I get it. I get both sides. So I get their decision to say, "Nah, I don't want to deal with that."
And Josh, to your point, I don't think it was the right decision. Me personally, if I was running the Nets, I would have let him play in the road games because I think it would have been better for wins. But so I'm not arguing that they made the right decision, but they made the decision. I'm not arguing that they made the wrong or right decision. I'm telling you, based off the decision they made, that's what I'm making my argument off of. I'm not saying they made the right decision and that's what they should have did, but that's what they made. So that's how I'm basing my opinion off of. I can't base my opinion off something that they didn't do. I can only base it off what they did, and that's the decision they chose to go with. But I can't imagine that they just did that to spite Kyrie or to kind of force him to get the vaccination. I think they was trying to minimize the turmoil, minimize the outside noise, minimize the controversy, if you will, and focus on the guys that were going to be there every day, game in and game out. And then, like Steph said, it got to a point where they still didn't know who was going to be there, game in, game out. They pulling up guys from the G League. They giving guys 10-day contracts. At that point, it's like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe we should get them for the games that we can and try to salvage this season.
All right, so let's change course a little bit. It's still going to be on Kyrie. If the Knicks did make a move for Kyrie Irving, all right, and I'll start with Kevin and come around. Let's just say that they did, right? So think in that aspect of it. They made the move. First of all, who would you trade? Who would you try to keep around? And then how would you build out the rest of the team? And then also, how would you deal with Kyrie? Because there's going to be something's going to come up where he needs to. I'm not playing today. I might not play for a week. I might not play for 2 weeks. Oh, I don't know when I'm going to play. Right? Do the Knicks have a strong enough staff? Do they have a strong enough locker room to deal with that? But I guess we'll start with, what would you move to get him? Start with you, Cornerstone. And don't say, I wouldn't move nothing, because I'm not going to do it. We're assuming that we did it. All right?
Because that's what I was going to say.
All right?
Oh, man. Okay. All right.
Yeah. What would you do?
Oh man. Jeez. All right. I'll play devil's advocate. I would give him Fournier.
Come
I give them Fournier. I'd give them man, this will kill me. I give them Grimes. I give them
Come
jeez.
on.
All right, so I said Fournier, Grimes. Can't give him Sims. I know Mitchell. I don't think is going to be back, so I'm not giving him that.
I don't know.
Sign and trade. They need a center.
I'll come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you, Kev.
Yeah,
go to
please
Steph.
come
I'm
back
gonna come back to you. I'll let you think about it.
Because you know where my
Think about
mind is, man. I want my young players.
So Kyrie Irving, Steph is gonna make $37 million next season.
Player option.
Right?
He's gonna opt in there.
Yeah, he has a player option, right? He's gonna make 37. Well, that's the whole thing. You know, he's hoping to work out an extension so that he would opt into the 37 million and then already have an extension going on for however many years afterwards. Right? But no matter what, he's going to make $37 million next year. So if the Knicks were to make a trade, they'd have to give up $37 million. Or, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly. It can be a little over, a little bit less. You know, the way that the salary, the CBA works. What would you do? How would you do it?
Sim, real quick, how much is Fournier making? How much
Fournier
is
makes 18.
18, okay. All right.
Somewhere, 18 or 19, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I would try to do a sign and trade with Mitch to cover some of that. I would, because I'm trying to think. I think they could use a Fournier, and I think they can use a shooter. So you would probably have to put a Grimes in there if they want Cam. You know, I would. You know, I'm okay with giving up Cam. I'm okay with giving up anybody but RJ and Randall. If you putting my feet to the fire and we have to do
And we're
this,
making that move. So
and we're making this move.
So we
Yeah.
we try to put Kyrie and Randall out.
Oh my! Yeah.
Yeah. Randall would have been first.
I don't know what's
Can I say this though?
I mean, Randall's gonna be there playing, but I don't know what else.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Can I say? I know you laughing at the Kyrie and Randall together thing. What I will say about this, since we're saying definitively, what if we do it? I think Kyrie would help Randall the same way we talk about Randall taking all the bullets for the rest of the team. At this point, Kyrie would be the guy taking all the bullets, and we may even see a better Randall in that aspect. But there's a risk there, you know, because if he starts adopting some of, let's say, Kyrie's outspokenness, you know what I mean, and voices some of his opinions more, like maybe he doesn't learn from the thumbs down situation, and now he wants to kind of clap back daily. You know what I mean? I don't think that would be a good thing for us moving forward.
See, on the court, I think that it would definitely help Randall because Kyrie's going to be the clear-cut number one. He's going to have the ball in his hands. Right. You know what I'm saying? And Randall's just going to, you know, I don't want to say get what he gets, but you know what I mean? You're not going to be depending on Randall every single trip down the floor. It's going to be Kyrie, and Kyrie he'd be able to create for Randall, so on and so forth, and create for other shooters out there. I'm more talking about the personality aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Kyrie's personality overpowers Randall's, you know what I mean, in that aspect. And he does take the bullets for him, you know. But, man, would I be a little bit I'll be a little bit nervous about going into the season and shoosh, you know what I mean? Ron.
Well, I tell you, that trade offer that Steph saw somewhere, if that was realistic,
right. That was like,
you know, I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't want him here, but I'll do it. You know, I'm not stupid. Like, come on now. But yeah, I think it's the same kind of thing. I think you would have to give up Fournier. Definitely, if you can move Noel in that, that'd be great. And possibly, you know, you might have to look into a draft pick or two, depending. To make it, you know, this is Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, you gave
and if the money's still not matching, then maybe you look at a Grimes or a Burks or something of that nature. Maybe even Kemba. I mean, Kemba's still on the team, and they would need some type of point guard action, even if they decide to go a different route. I mean, they're in a much better position with their personnel and having KD there. That I don't think Kimba is as big of a hindrance to them as he is to us. So that's a possibility. I think that I would look into doing something like that.
I feel like Quickly would probably go. I think he would end up going, right? They'd be looking at, hey, we want to try to have a future point guard. We'll see if we can, rock with Quickly. Obviously, they got KD over there.
They got Cam Thomas as well.
So they got some players that would take some pressure off of Quickly. But I feel like IQ would go. You know what I mean? And
you might be right. You might be right. And listen, when you think about it, as fans, we're going to be upset that we lose IQ. But if you're getting Kyrie's talent, I mean, you can't argue with the difference between the two on the court.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I mean, I don't know if that's something that they could do. Like, you got to be, to me, the NBA ownership and front offices don't have as much power as they used to. This is more like a players' league. But if it was me, I would give him right around the money he's looking for, right around it. But I'd go underneath, and then I'd hit him with incentive bonuses. A bonus if you play 50 games, a bonus if you play 60, a bonus if you play 70. That's what I would do.
I see.
Would you give him 2 years? 2 years?
No, he wants 4.
It's going to be more than that.
Well, right. But if he wants to play with us, I'd give him 2. Just for to start off and then do it that way. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the thing that you're missing. So if it's a sign and trade, that means Kyrie's going to sign an extension that's going to more than likely be longer than 2 years. So let's say three in a possible like phase or something, whatever. Let's say his contract is that. The important thing to remember, I don't think Kyrie is eligible for Supermax money. He didn't make All NBA last season or whatever. So I don't think he's eligible for Supermax money. But $35 to $37 million a season, I think that's definitely appropriate for someone at Kyrie Irving's talent level. And I agree with Ron. I would definitely incentivize it. But to answer your question, Sam, I'm looking at Fournier. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with getting rid of Quickly in that deal. And I would get rid of either Nerlens Noel or one of those $10 million contracts, Burks or somebody like that to make the money work. And then I'll throw in next year's Dallas Earth. That's what I would do. And I think the Nets will take something like that.
So you think just one draft pick?
Yes.
That's all I'm giving, bro. Just one.
I don't know, man. I don't know if just one draft pick gets Kyrie, because there's probably still going to be suitors out there.
Well, Sam, I guess I'll just say this. I'm not willing to give up the farm for Kyrie Irving. I know I want Kyrie Irving on the team, but I'm not willing to do that because of all the reasons that you guys said. I think they're really valid reasons, and I'm not discounting that at all as far as his availability before the pandemic. So that's the reason why I'm not going to go move heaven and earth to sign someone like that. But that's my best offer. That's what I'm looking at doing, and maybe you throw in another young player or something like that. But, that's the way I'm looking at it.
Okay. Hey, maybe. Well, first of all, let me say the trade that Queen had mentioned earlier, I think the rumored trade or whatever, what it would take, I would go for that, and I wouldn't budge. Like expiring guys, you know what I mean, and then the first, maybe a second along. I'm not doing more than one first, because we're taking a risk as well. Contrary to Josh's belief, I think it's a big risk in signing him too. And then I don't know if in that trade, the extension is imminent, or if it's for us to extend him, or if it happens through them. Because if it's not imminent, then we're taking a risk of him just playing out the year and leaving.
No, I think that's what the signing trade will be, Tony. It'll be the extension with it. It won't just be for that 1 year player option. It'll be signing trade. We're signing him to a new contract.
Well, I think it would be. I guess it could go in different ways. One, it could be that he signs with Brooklyn, with whatever that extension is, and then they trade him to the Knicks, right? And maybe even, like Steph said, you got Mitchell Robinson's in the trade, so the Knicks sign Mitchell Robinson, and he's part of that whole sign and trade thing. This way, Kyrie Irving gets his money, right? And it's already there. Or they agree to a trade, but also there's an under-the-table agreement that the Knicks are going to extend him. You know what I'm saying? However, which way that it works. You know what I mean?
I don't think the second one's possible, Sam, because
Why?
the money's not guaranteed. Like the money's not guaranteed for right now for Kyrie Irving because it's an option. I think the first one is possible because that's what a signing trade is.
No,
but because his money's not guaranteed right now,
if he opts in,
I don't think you can do that. Though. I don't think you can do that because of the dates or something. I don't think so.
Let me say this: if they can't agree on anything, and he's like, fine, I'm just gonna opt in and I'll be a free agent next year, they can trade him.
No, I don't think the sign and trade is possible with that scenario. I'll have to take a look at that.
Well, it wouldn't be a sign and trade. Like he said, it's an under the table deal of the Knicks extending him.
Right.
Are there still a
1-year contract?
Are there still no trade clauses? Are there still no trade clauses?
He doesn't have one, but
I'm just asking because I don't want a scenario like that. You're saying we could trade him and everything. I don't know if he would throw that in there. That was
no. They could trade him. He could sign. He can opt in.
Right.
Have 1 year left on his contract and be traded to another team, and then that other team would have to decide whether they're going to extend him or just let that year play out and let him go.
In that case, the Knicks don't need to give up any draft picks because he's a rental at that point. I don't see the Knicks doing something like that, giving up a bunch of picks and young assets. I think at that point it's about money, giving them expiring deals, stuff like that.
Right, but
which I would also consider that as well.
I mean, but that's where you would probably have kind of an under the table agreement with him, like we're going to extend you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make this move here because maybe it works for them somehow, some way. Who knows? We're going to make this move here, and then we'll extend you afterwards. You know what I mean? Or re-sign it or whatever it is, you know?
I was just going to say, keep in mind, he hasn't played more than 54 games in 3 years.
No, I get it.
Case closed.
I also want to say, like, people are saying he's not a good fit. If you trade for Kyrie is the man, and it's more about building a team around him. It's no longer about how he fits with whoever these pieces we have on the roster.
Right.
It becomes about Kyrie and who else can you get to put with him. Otherwise, there's not gonna be a lot of movement in this Eastern Conference with Kyrie and whoever's left on this team.
Yeah. Can I throw something out there though? And I'd like to get you guys' opinion. Me personally, if there's any interaction between the Knicks and Nets and they talking about Kyrie, I listen to their offer or what they're asking for and everything, and then I turn around and say, I'll give you that for Ben Simmons. I'd much rather take the risk on Ben Simmons than Kyrie Irving at this point, especially being the younger of the two. I guess you could argue whether he has injury history or not, but I much rather take the risk of a facilitating defensive big point guard that kind of fits seamlessly into what Tibbs likes and timeline with his age for the future with some.
You will give up more. You will give up more for Ben Simmons than you will give up for Kyrie because Ben Simmons has guaranteed money.
I agree.
You will give up more.
I agree. But that'll be whatever they're asking for Kyrie, that'll be my base. And then we can negotiate from there. You know what I mean? What I got to add.
We just get a better superstar than even both of them. You know what I mean? We just take our assets and see if we can find, I don't know, somebody with less question marks.
I mean,
how many superstars in Kyrie Irving?
I don't know.
My only problem.
It's not about better. I'm talking about less question marks.
And the rumors out there, they're heavy on Brogdon right now. I mean, if we're comparing what's out there, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I go with Ben before Brogdon.
Let me just say, if there's I don't want Kyrie here. I'm not gonna change on that. But if you're gonna tell me I have a choice between Kyrie and Brogdon, then bring on Kyrie. Like, I'm not messing with Brogdon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's my point.
It's just the mentality of both players between him and Ben Simmons. You don't know where their mentality is. You don't.
Yeah, I hear you. Let's get to that, Malcolm Brogdon, because, like y'all said, the Pacers are willing to move Malcolm Brogdon. They're also, I'm assuming, and from what I've read, still willing to move Miles Turner. And are actually active, I think, in looking for suitors. And the Knicks at least have had conversations about Malcolm Brogdon and have him on the back burner, I think. Right? If the Knicks made a move for Malcolm Brogdon, how would you feel? Ron, I'll start with you, Ron.
How much time you got? Because I need therapy, man. I don't know, man. Listen, I know I don't speak for every Knicks fan, but I personally, I don't want more injured players on this New York Knicks team.
Yeah.
We have enough to go around. We don't need to add more to it. And I don't care how talented they are. Michael Jordan could say, I'm coming out of retirement and I could still put up 25 points. I'm not messing with Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan is like 40,000 years old. Like, there's just at some point you got to say, does this make smart basketball sense? You're going to pay this guy money and you're going to have him on the team, taking up a roster spot, hoping for a certain level of production. And most likely, until we know otherwise, he would have to show it on Indiana first for a season before I would even think about it. And he hasn't shown it yet. And he's got nobody there with him. Like, that could be Brogdon's team over there, Indiana, and we'll never know because he can't stay healthy. No, I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Steph, you said you too. Josh, what about you?
Yeah. I would consider it, but you got to look at his injury history, the fact that he is locked in a long-term contract that ends in 2026 or 2027, I believe. So you definitely have to consider that. Does he improve the point composition? Yes. Does he fit with what Tibbs is trying to do? Absolutely. Is he able to knock the three ball down? Yes. He's one of the few active players in the NBA that shot 50, 40, 90 for a season. So he can shoot the basketball. There's no question. I just question the injuries. I question whether he's going to be available for us for the majority of the season. He's been out for a very, very long period of time. And he's not on that superstar level that I'm willing to give up a whole bunch of assets for that. We will have to because he's signed for a longer term deal. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. I would do it, but I would be very cautious about what I give up.
You think the Knicks would have to give up a lot of assets for Malcolm Brogdon?
Because he's a longer term contract. I think that's the reason why. I know the money has to match up and stuff like that.
But see, I tend to think I don't feel
they're trying to fleece us.
I mean, why do you think a longer term contract means you're going to give up more money? Tell me why you think that.
Because
not more money, but give up more assets. Why does it mean you're going to give up more assets? Especially if a team like the Indiana Pacers wants to get off of his contract because it's long term.
Exactly.
Why would you have to give up more assets?
And he has an injury history.
And he has injury history.
They're trying to fleece us. There's no reason why he should cost. The asking price should be what it is. They should be giving up a pick because they're the ones that want to get rid of him. That, you know what I mean? They're trying to go in a different direction. Injury history. If they don't move him, they're kind of stuck with a guy who they don't know when he's going to be available, when he's not. So honestly, they're trying to fleece us. There's no reason that we should be giving up the 11th pick for him. It's bad enough that we got to make the salaries match. You know what I mean? Like, he's on the bottom.
Not that bad though. The salary's not that bad per season.
No, 23.
But how much is it per game? Because he's only played about 54 games. 54 games on average.
That's a good point.
You know?
Again, if we're going for him, we can't be giving away the 11th pick for it. And it has to be the expirants in the deal. It can't be.
I think, and that's what I'm saying. I think that will make more sense. When I say picks, I'm looking at like the second round picks. I'm not talking about anything 11 or the first round picks. I think it would have to be some second rounders and into expirants that the Knicks have, because that would make the most sense for them. They get his money to have money coming out their books at the end of next season. Same with Benson.
I just want to throw this out there, being fair. Malcolm Brogdon hasn't played more than 56 games in 3 years.
Right.
And you know, when you say 56 compared to Kyrie's 54, but Kyrie's talent is so much better.
More.
So that's why you consider Kyrie.
Right.
But the outside noise and the distractions and the you talk about like Brogdon has won like I believe like sportsmanship awards and
right. He's a great guy. Good community guy too.
You also gotta weigh that. But I'm with you. If the cost is close, you know what I mean, Kyrie's the better talent. I go that
when
route.
the mandate was lifted in Brooklyn and Kyrie was playing all of the games, what negative activity was going on around the Nets at that point?
It doesn't have to be at one point in time. It doesn't have to be at one point in time.
But here's the point I'm trying to make is when you win games, all of that stuff goes out the window. The fact that there was a lot of negativity was around was because the Nets were losing games while Kyrie Irving was not playing because of the vaccine, and the media went ham at him because he didn't take the vaccine. That's what that was about.
But Josh, if you eliminate the whole vaccine situation, there's been controversy around Kyrie for years and years and years. So it has nothing to do with the vaccine.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with we could take that out.
I just threw the vaccine out there.
No,
I just threw it out there. I mean, it's totally
availability. Even other than the vaccine, if he feels something is more important, and I'm not knocking him, like he said, basketball is not everything. If there's something going on in his personal life, if there's something going on in the community, and he feels like he needs to miss a few games to be there, he is going to do it. That was even before the vaccine. And I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying the Knicks have to make a decision. Is that a chance you want to take? In this volatile world, somebody can get shot in a minute, and now he's on his little crusade and wanting to be out there, whatever it is, missing games. I'm not knocking him for it, but that's just something that the Knicks have to
I can think there's a risk that because we haven't been that good, and we need a player like that caliber. I'm willing to take the risk on it.
Look, just put all my assets up to get me that pick to get me Ivy. That's all I want. Then everything will be solved.
All of the assets.
Yeah.
Even McBride.
Even McBride.
Even McBride. Yeah, even McBride.
Oh, wow. Okay, Kev is serious now.
Even McBride.
I want Ivy. Hey, Ron, I want Ivy. I want Ivy.
All right.
That's more of an unknown. That's more of an unknown than Kyrie Irving, if you think about
it. Man.
It is.
But it is, but you're not paying him the same amount of money as Kyrie Irving either.
Eventually you will, though. If you want him to be the superstar player, you're gonna pay him that money anyway.
But if you end up,
he'll be known.
Yeah,
we'll know
he'll be a known factor.
Whether we worth paying him or not.
What I know right now is that Kyrie Irving is a superstar player that we have not had in a very, very long time, and he makes us better. That's what I do know, and I know all of y'all know that too.
Okay.
So yeah,
shout out to
better for the games that he plays. Yes.
Yeah, for the games that he plays. The 25 games he plays. Shout out to Trav B. Ryan. Thank you for the super chat. He said, "Don't think the fan base is ready for any kind of outspoken superstar at the moment, and a lot of superstars are outspoken." I don't think that. No, I'm just saying. If a lot of superstars are outspoken, people better be ready. Because if you want to. If you want to win, you're going to get somebody, and that person might be outspoken. I just don't think Kyrie is the guy.
And two things, I don't think
he's the guy.
I'm bad, Sam.
Go ahead, Tom.
I don't think, like me personally, I don't have a problem with outspokenness. I seen somebody earlier in the chat said Tony just wants somebody who's going to shut up and dribble. That's disrespectful, number one. I think I deserve an apology. And you're absolutely wrong. I have no problem with somebody who is outspoken. I've been one on the record that said Julius Randle in particular. I thought it would be better if he was more outspoken, and that might have been better for what's been going on, rather than the notion that he was ducking the media and ducking the post game press conferences and things of that nature.
And letting RJ take the bullets.
So that being said, I think that's wrong. I think New York, the organization, and this is another discussion, maybe this organization is not ready for somebody as outspoken, knowing the restrictions that we this organization puts down on its front office, the coach. Everybody kind of has to watch what they say. I'm trying not to use the D word, so I don't stir up anything with Josh talking about the owner. But I obviously, you know what I mean. There's restrictions here, and nobody's really allowed to be as outspoken as
I think Dolan would like having
be.
Kyrie Irving on this roster because I think that they feel the same way about the media. I think they feel the same way about the media. No, hold on, let me explain why. I think they feel the same way about the media, the way a lot of the Knicks fans feel as far as the media is always trashing the Knicks and making up these narratives and stuff like that. So I think Dolan would embrace having someone like Kyrie Irving. And I think Kyrie Irving, based on the policies that MSG has in place, would like the fact that the Knicks don't go out of their way to tell the media everything. So I think that is a little bit of something that, we need to consider as well.
So you think that Dolan would like having a guy who talks about his Celtic team and says that these young guys don't know how to win, or we could probably use a 15-year veteran on the team, or Kyrie, you scored 30 points last night, you did great. And he says, well, I spent a lot of time with Brad Stevens helping him coach.
What's wrong with any of that?
What? You think Dolan wants to hear that? Dolan?
What's wrong with what's wrong with what he said? What's wrong with what he said? The Celtics aren't ready to win yet. The Celtics aren't ready to win yet. You don't think that star players could work with their coach on developing game plans and schemes for the other team? LeBron doesn't.
Do you think that if I'm a player on a team that my coach is going to want you talking to the media saying that you were helping me coach the team?
That happens all the time in the NBA.
But
that happens all
the difference between the truth. If it was just about the truth, we would air everybody's laundry,
right?
Because it's the truth. There's the truth and there's decorum. There's the truth and how you say things. It's not always the same. We can't just go out and just say something just because it's the truth.
Yeah,
I don't think that's bad though. What he said, I don't think that
he's a head case. That's the truth right there.
I had to help Tom Thibodeau coach the team basically because he didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
So I had to spend a lot of my time.
I didn't take that comment.
Josh, that's like me being in a meeting with my boss because I've been there for a long time and I'm privy to certain things, and I find out, oh, he's thinking about firing somebody. And I say, you know what? Listen, this guy's a good guy, man. We shouldn't get rid of him. Give him another chance. And then I wind up telling the guy, oh, listen, you was going to get fired, but I told the boss to give you another chance. Then we're in a meeting, and he's like, I want to thank Ron for letting me know, how to get my stuff together because I might have gotten fired. What do you think the boss would say if he heard that I went to the guy and told him that?
Well, obviously in Boston's case, Brad Stevens didn't feel no type of way.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Oh. Okay.
That's an extreme example, but it's the whole point. It's like certain things that happen behind closed doors need to stay behind closed doors. That's what closed doors are for. Yeah. They're not open doors.
Right. Shout out to Blonde's Tears. Big Freeze. He says, shout out to the panel. Great content, Freezy. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I think he's joining Queen's Court today.
Okay.
From what I understand.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I might have to make it then. I might have to make it.
I'm off today.
The Knicks Summer League schedule is out. And with this, the Knicks Summer League schedule is out. They play Golden State. They play Chicago, Portland, and Orlando. And let me blow that up a little bit bigger so people can see it. So on July, I guess that's 8, 9. I don't know. It says July 0. I don't know what that's supposed to be. On ESPN2, they play Golden State. On the 10th, they play Chicago. On the 11th, they play Portland. And then on July 14th, they play Orlando. And then there's a possibility that there'll be one more game. I guess that might be the playoff game or something like that. Right.
Yeah. I saw something that Andy had put this in the chat on one of the other shows. I think it might have been Blorence Tears. He mentioned that, I guess, this year, every team gets one playoff
something
game.
like that. Yeah. Yeah. And you notice there's only 4 games. I think normally it's like 5. So maybe they're taking that 5th game is your playoff game, and then you go on from there. But I think the first game is July 8th. I think it's July 8th. And that's on ESPN2 versus Golden State. July 10th versus Chicago on ESPN2. July 12th at Portland, but they're not really going to Portland, but, they're pretend away. On ESPN2, and then at Orlando on NBA TV.
Hey, Sim, I would like to make a special request that Orlando Summer League game, you kind of do one of those, watch along since I don't have access to NBA TV. So, you know, I'm making a formal request live. So.
Yeah, I was looking to go, but you know the summer league prices is rivaling regular NBA prices now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's become
It's
a thing.
Vegas.
wow.
And now you gotta add a plane ticket to it, you know.
Yeah, and it used to be like $25, and you know you get the whole day or maybe 2 days or whatever it was. You know, now it's like $40 a day, and I think it's $385 to $400 for the entire season from the 10th or the 8th through the 17th or something like that. Yeah.
I think that's where LeBron got the idea. Some of his friends probably was trying to get summer league tickets. He's like, "What? Should get a team in Vegas."
Hey guys, I gotta go, but I just want y'all to know, I love y'all. Even you, Josh, always gonna be my brother. I love you. Again, I don't want Kyrie here. I don't want Ben Simmons here either. So I want to keep going the way we're going and just get this draft, nail this draft. That's all I want. All right.
All right.
Love y'all.
Peace.
Take
I'll
care.
send you a text, Kev. I'll text you.
Okay, cool.
And I just want to point out, Josh, you got a lot of support in the chat today.
Oh, I know. I always do.
No, today. You got like I don't know if you got burner accounts out there that you just, hey, I think Josh is right. But
No, I mean, listen, I'll just say this. The Knicks have been bad for a very, very long time, and I think we need a superstar player. We need a player that can come in, take over the reins, be very, very dynamic, particularly at the point guard position. Kyrie Irving is that guy. You can, feel the way you feel about him. I understand there's concerns about his, past transgressions or whatever, but what happened last season was unprecedented. And I think a lot of people, including Stephen A. Smith, are completely wrong when they say that, when they use that to judge whether he shows up to work or not. I think if you get him in the right situation, the team starts to win. I think a lot of that stuff that when we talk about Kyrie will kind of go away. And I think he can help us win. No question about that. Whether it be 50 games, whether it be 60 games, whatever, he can help us win. No question.
Well, you don't think the other bottom line here is when it comes to the superstars of the league, when their names get mentioned with the Knicks, any reservations you might have had start to fly out the window? Let me tell you something. If LeBron James said tonight, you know what? I put this off a long time. I'm ready to go to Madison Square Garden. You're going to see a whole bunch of Knicks fans come out the woodwork. Oh, LeBron wants to come here. Let's go get him. Come on, you know how it is. These are superstars. And the Knicks haven't had that. So when you get an opportunity to get a superstar, things.
But it got to be the right superstar. I mean, I get it, and and we could talk about the Knicks needing a point guard, the Knicks need a center. The number one thing the Knicks need is a star. I get it, but I just don't think it should be any star, unreliable star, broken down star, over the hill star, injury prone star. I mean, I just think it just needs to be just take those four things off the table, and then fine.
Listen, I think you still got to swing the bat, though. We haven't had one. I said, let's swing the bat and try it. It's not like it's setting our franchise back 10 years by going out and bringing Kyrie Irving or stopping our
give up.
Yeah, but depending on what you give up. But let's say we don't have to give up that much. We have a ton of assets remaining. If you try,
you don't have to give up a lot. Then, like I said, with that trade, I would do that tomorrow.
And if it doesn't work, you can still move off his contract. It's not something that's going to hamper us. We're really good in a really good cap situation right now. It's not going to stop us because he going to make $37 million or whatever. Like we can still go out and make other moves. We're not stuck with that. This is not the late 2000s Knicks when Isaiah Thomas was running it. We had the highest payroll in the league, well over the luxury tax, and we're winning 20 games. But that's the misconception, Queen, from a lot of people, not you.
No, I get it, but I think he would be hard to move. He comes in with all the baggage he's coming in now, and then it's similar with the Knicks. I don't think he's going to be easy to move.
Well, it was easy to move when he left Boston. It was easy to move out of Cleveland, right? If he's that bad of a person.
Younger, though. He was younger.
Yeah, but hold on. But the big thing I talk about is the baggage that he brings. He was traded in the last Russell Westbrook. He got traded 4 times for his large contract.
It's not about
he can be moved.
Westbrook.
Try to move him now, though.
Westbrook is reliable, though. Say what you want to say about Westbrook. He shows up every game. You know what you're gonna get, whether you like his game or not. I think Kyrie is a little different. I think it's a risk that if that's what the Knicks decide to do. And the other thing somebody said, I think it was Harlem Girl, the Knicks having a hard time holding Randall accountable. What are they gonna do with Kyrie?
Right.
Nothing.
And if you got both of
Gonna
them,
be running
it's
the
gonna
organization.
it's gonna be tough. And you know what you were saying about the Boston Celtics, they had no problems moving them to the Celtics, and then no problem moving them to Brooklyn. You know, he left, from Cleveland to Boston. That's one thing. Danny Ainge was trying to make a move that was going to get him over the top, right?
And Ainge won that trade.
and then from Boston to Brooklyn, it's like, okay, things went bad. Let's see how it goes.
But wasn't that a free agent? That wasn't even a trade, right?
Oh yeah, from Boston to Brooklyn, right? That was free agency. That was free agency. That wasn't even a trade. That was free agency. So that's not even a trade. You know what I'm saying? But then you already know how it goes there. We don't need to go into that all again. And then he comes to the Knicks, and if it were to go bad, and you were talking about trading him, people gonna look at it and say, Cleveland, Boston, Brooklyn.
But you see, that's what I'm saying. He has a ton of interest around the league right now. He has a ton of interest around the league right now. We got to stop this. We got to stop this looking like Kyrie Irving is unwanted. Teams want him.
So let one of them teams get him.
Yeah. Nobody said that he's unwanted. No one's saying he's unwanted. There's going to be teams out there.
How would it be hard to move him then, Sam? Why is it so hard to move him?
Just because somebody wants somebody doesn't mean they're not going to negotiate knowing the situation.
Of course.
Right. Which makes it tougher to move.
And God forbid something goes wrong here. That's just another red flag under his belt, which makes it harder to move him next time. You know what I mean? Like, it's fool me once, shame on me.
Let me ask this. Let me ask this too, and we'll get out of here, right? So we can start getting ready for the Queen's Court. What's the chances, if he were to come to New York, what are the chances it's Kyrie Irving, the New York Knicks, James Dolan, what are the chances that it is successful or it implodes?
See, normally you guys are more optimistic. Y'all so pessimistic today. What's going on, Sam? Y'all normally optimistic about everything.
I'm looking at the players, and when I say players, I don't mean just basketball players. I mean, the personalities involved. I'm looking at the personalities involved. What are the chances that thing is going to actually mesh, or is it going to implode? Looking at those personalities.
Either way, man.
I tell you this much: the Knicks have not had much, so I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to do that. We have not had much.
Can I just say I knew Josh had to stand on this side of the fence, and I have to stand on the other side of the fence. We just had a debate. I don't know what show it was, but a couple of days ago, where we were talking about if what would have gone on in Brooklyn had gone on with the Knicks, would it have been covered the same way? And me feeling like it would not have been covered the same way. It would have been 10 times worse. Right. If the whole, you know what I mean? If I don't even want to take that risk. If I was doing it,
optimistic. What's going on with y'all?
Listen. If I'm the Knicks, if I'm Leon Rose, and I know this is going on, I'm giving a call over there and I'm saying, okay, if Kyrie is moved, what's going on with KD? That's gonna be my question. What's going on with KD? Because I would love to bring KD here. Cornball and all, I would love to bring KD here. All right, that would be my question.
I hear you on that, Sim. I'm not messing with. I would acquiesce to Kyrie if he gets here and it works out. He's a good player. I don't ever want to see KD with a Knicks uniform, but that's just me. Listen, but okay, here's the thing. So what if we get Kyrie? Kyrie, RJ Barrett at the 2, Cam Reddish at the 3, either Obi or Randall at the 4. And Porzingis at the 5. Let's go.
Porzingis.
If we bring in Kyrie here, we might as well bring all the things back.
Might as well bring it all back, right? Oh man.
I mean, I'll still be a Knicks fan.
I'll be a Knicks fan too.
You see what I did there?
See what you did there.
Just be bracing for it every day, because oh my goodness, that team would be.
But that's a squad, though. Not for nothing.
Be a squad.
They got some. That's a squad.
As long as KP can stay healthy,
And Kyrie.
And Kyrie can stay healthy or doesn't miss games.
And Cam can stay healthy.
Cam can stay healthy.
Right.
Takes the next step. Julius makes nice with the fans. I mean, there's a lot that has to happen.
A couple question marks, you know.
Yeah. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head up out of here. Please make sure you get your draft tickets. All right. There's a link in the YouTube chat. There's also a link in the description of the video. I do want to give a shout out to Donald Cannon before I get out of here, though. Said, hey, Sim, I had to take a break from last season from the Knicks. They burned me out last season. Said, I'm still a Knicks fan, though, and I'm ready for a new season. That's what we're talking about. Ready for a new season, man. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get those tickets because we're just a couple of days, 3 days away from the draft. Can't wait. It's going to be dope.
Shout out to Lloyd Banks in the chat. And, man, I hope you do that versus, man.
Yeah, Lloyd Banks.
They talking bad on your name, but yeah. I'm with you. I think you could win.
Go get
yours.
And
he disagrees with me. No surprise.
Go get yours. Go get yours, Lloyd. No doubt. Go get yours. Do that verse. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head up out of here. Queen's Court at 8 o'clock, right?
Yep.
Queen's Court at 8 o'clock. You said...
we're talking first round point guards if the Knicks were to trade down. And if we have enough time, I like to pull up a few mock drafts, just 1 through 10, and then ask the panelists who they would pick at 11. So I got a few different mock drafts. Yeah.
All right. All right. Sounds good. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, for whatever reason, the phone app that I have keeps going in and out, messing up. I got to contact that company and make sure, maybe I need to download and update. So I do plan on getting on tomorrow, although I am going to be traveling tomorrow to AC. I plan on trying to get on to do, a little something before we get up there. But if not, then I guess I have to try to do it from there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're up out of here. I appreciate
Happy
your
Father's
time.
Day. Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate your time. And, get those draft tickets, folks. Up out of here. Peace. The second annual NBK draft party in Atlantic City. There'll be a live podcast, live DJ, live video shoot. $40 for a VIP ticket, $30 for draft night only. Get your tickets now.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.